Hey guys, it's Mrs. Hart. Welcome back to Hart Academy. I know it's been a while since I've done in Hart Academy, and that's because the stuff that we've had up to this point was a whole lot of review and putting small things together that we've done before. And today I introduced the new concept of the Pythagorean theorem, and some of you might be struggling with that, so I am reviewing how to do it. I am not doing your homework problems, but I'm reviewing how to do each type of problem that you might run across in your homework, okay? So we've reached a point where we've only got 1 month left of school, and if you are still struggling, but yet have not come out to seek me during lunch, during advisory, during some point, then you need to do that, okay? Because, again, everything that we're doing is what you need to know at your grade level, whether it's 7th or 8th grade. What I've introduced today is something that you should know at your grade level. Now, for the 7th grade, it doesn't get much harder than this. For the 8th graders, after you get used to this will get a little bit harder for you guys. So for my 7th graders who still might be struggling, this is as hard as it gets for the Pythagorean theorem. Again, 8th graders, yours is going to get a little bit harder. But I started today with everybody on the same foot, okay? So what I'm going to do is review the type of questions that you have for your homework. The type of questions you have for your homework, not your homework questions. Again, you also had a packet today that was part of the classwork that had notes on it. I hope you use that too in order to help you get through your homework assignment. All right, I'm going to start with the first one. As we know, what you need to do is to always start with your formula, okay? So here I go. Let me make sure I can move this. Okay, so now I got a place where I can type. All right, so but the formula for the Pythagorean theorem, as you know, is, by now you should have memorized, right? A squared plus B squared equals C squared. How do you know it's A, B, and C with your triangle? Okay, so with your triangle, again, wherever the right angle is, right diagonally across it is C. C is the hypotenuse. Again, if you have no idea what I'm talking about, look at the notes that we did in class today. C represents the hypotenuse, and the hypotenuse is the longest side of the triangle. Now, A and B really don't matter, but what I typically like to do, and what everybody else who does math typically likes to do, is label side B as the side that the triangle is sitting on, like the base or the bottom. So B will be the bottom, okay? And then A will be like the height, okay? Now, it does not matter, again, if you had called this A or this B. But just to see that everybody is consistent, I always like to put B as the bottom, for the bottom line, or the base, and then the A represents like the height, okay? So now that we know what our numbers are, we can now start plugging them into our formula. This is the Pythagorean theorem formula. So A squared. What do we have for A? A represents 8. So I will now put 8 squared plus B squared. What is B? 15. So that's 15 squared. B will equal C squared. Do I have C? No, I do not. So I'm just going to bring it out like I see it, C squared, okay? And so now what I'm going to do is do the math of this. This is 8 squared. This is not 8 times 2. It's 8 times 8. Remember the difference when you're working with powers, okay? So I'm going to do 8 times 8. Remember, we're at the point of the year in which it is okay to go ahead and use a calculator. So you have 8 times 8. That will give you 64. So 64, bring my plus sign down. Now 15 squared. Again, this is not 15 times 2. It's 15 times 15. 15 times 15. Okay? This is 225. And then I bring my C squared. Now all I have to do is the math that I see right here. So I have 225 plus 64. That will give you 289. Okay? Bring down your C squared. Now, again, I explained in class the difference between a square and a square root, okay? This is not your final answer. Remember, your final answer has to be C squared. So what I need to do is find the square root of this number in order to truly represent C. What I mean is this. I need to find the square root, this is not division, of this number to find out what C equals, okay? So, again, you can use your calculator for that. In most calculators, you have to hit the square root button first and then hit the number, and it will tell you what the square root of the number is, okay? Like in the calculators we use in class, I'm hitting my square root button. Remember, that's not a division button. 289, and then enter, and guess what? The square root of 289 is 17. So my final answer is going to be 17. C is 17. How do I know for sure? Check this out. If I plug in 17 right here and keep the square, I should get this if I figure out what this is squared. Let me plug that 17 in my calculator, multiply by 17, and see if I get the square root. I did. This is 289. So I know my final answer is going to be 17. All right. I know it's kind of confusing understanding the square root part versus the square root versus the square, okay? But we'll keep trying to explain it every day in class as we move forward with this. I just wanted to make sure that you were able to at least solve your homework problems, and then the more you do this, the more that the understanding of the square root and the square will make sense to you. Okay, so I'm going to now do another one in which C is missing. See, notice this one, the hypotenuse is missing. The longest side of the triangle is missing. In this one, the hypotenuse is not missing. It gives it to you. But I'm not going to do that one just yet. I want to practice another one in which the hypotenuse is missing. Okay, so I'm going to go down to this one. This is why I'm going to go down to this one. I want to practice another one in which the hypotenuse is missing. Okay, that's a good thing. Okay, so remember, start with your formula. A squared plus B squared equals C squared. Okay, figure out where everything is on your triangle. Remember, wherever the right triangle is, wherever the right corner is, that right angle, wherever that is, then directly, diagonally across from it is going to be C, which is the hypotenuse. And that means it's the longest side of your triangle. C always represents the longest side of your triangle. Again, how do you know which side is the longest side of the triangle? Look for the right angle. Okay? And then, right diagonally from it, you will have where C is. And then, remember, I like to put the bottom line as my base, which I can represent with the letter B, and the height is going to be represented with A. Okay? So now I have everything I need in order to plug in. So, let's look. A squared. What do I have for A? 36. So that's going to be 36 squared plus B squared. B is 77. So that's 77 squared equals C squared. So again, this is 36 times 36, not 36 times 2. The power root of something, okay? So if I got 36 times 36, let's figure out what that is. 36 times 36 is 1,296. And remember, go ahead and use a calculator. 1,296, my plus sign, 77 times 77, okay? 77 times 77, you should get 5,929. 5,929 equals C squared. So now what I do, as you can see, is I'm going to add these two together, okay? So my 5,929, add them together, 1,296, okay? That gave me 7,225, okay? Bring down my equals my C squared. Remember that last step is to find the square root of this number, okay, to represent C. In order to represent C, I have to find the square root of this number. I have to find the square root of this number, okay? So in my calculator, I'm going to hit the square root button and then do 7,225, okay? My answer is 85. So C equals 85 because 85 squared equals that. Okay? So hopefully this made sense a little bit more with that one. I'm going to try another one in which the hypotenuse is missing, And then I'll try one where the leg is missing. So let me see if I can find another one in which the hypotenuse is missing. Oh, look, this one gave me, yep, here's 17. And then the answer that I got from this one, there's your 85. And I need to find one more in which the hypotenuse is missing. So let me go back and get another worksheet from that. Okay, hold on. So if I go to here, I'm going to find another one. I'm just going to look one up, okay, real quick, in order for me to do another example in which the hypotenuse is missing. Yay. Hang in there with me for a second. All sides are whole number, sure. Both. By the way, if parents are watching this, is a great website for worksheets that you may want to do over the summer or something. Okay. All right, here we go. So now I'm going to look for this one, because in this question, the hypotenuse is missing. See? Get it? See? Because that's angle C. All right. So the hypotenuse is missing on this one. And how do I know that this is the hypotenuse? Because remember, diagonally from the perfect square, which is right here, is the hypotenuse. My bottom is going to be my B, and then my height is going to be A. So now I have A, B, and C, everything I need in order to put my formula together. Okay? So, again, write the formula, A squared plus, I can write that better. In fact, I'll write in a different color. Okay, A squared, that's A, remember, not a 9, plus B squared equals C squared. All right, so let's plug in what we have. A is represented by 3, so that's 3 squared plus 4 squared equals C squared. We now do the math, okay? 3 times 3, not 3 times 2, 3 times 3 is 9, plus 4 times 4, not 4 times 8, 4 times 4 is 16 equals C squared. So now what I do is I'm going to add these, 9 plus 16, 9 plus 16, that gives me 25, okay? 25 equals C squared. Now, don't forget that you need to represent C only, okay? So in order to do that, you have to find the square root of this. Put that in your calculator, hit the square root button, hit 25, you should get 5. So C is actually equal to 5. Again, my final answer for this one is 5. Why is it 5? Because watch this. If I plug in 5 right here and do this, I should get this. 5 times 5 is 25. But what on your sheet, all I need to know is what that final square root answer is, which is right here. So this video showed you 3 examples of what to do when the hypotenuse is missing. So this example is what to do when the hypotenuse is missing and you're looking for C, which is the hypotenuse, okay? My next video will show you what to do when you have A or B missing. All right, guys, stay tuned.